Hello, I'm Peter Bergman. This is my official YouTube channel. I'll be updating you with the latest news, so please subscribe to my channel.
Welcome back to our channel. It is 3 a.m. and the coffee stopped working hours ago, but we are wide awake and ready to dive into the absolute madness that is currently unfolding. Okay, I literally cannot believe this. Can we please process this mess together? Might delete this later, but I seriously can't stay silent about this anymore. Please tell me I'm not the only one losing my mind over this. Look, I am running on fumes, zero sleep, and pure unadulterated stress because the writers have basically decided to shatter my entire reality. Listen, I thought I had seen it all. I honestly thought Genoa City had peaked in terms of psychological warfare, but suddenly we are plunged into a nightmare that is so twisted, so profoundly toxic that I am physically shaking. Basically, Diane Jenkins Abbott is currently trapped in a horror movie, and we need to talk about the absolute betrayal happening right in front of our eyes. I am sitting here vibrating with rage and disbelief. Look, the reveal that Dr. Lawrence Markham is actually Patty Williams' secret lover, 8 times total game changer. I am screaming. I am literally screaming at my monitor right now. Basically, we all knew something was deeply off with this guy from the moment he stepped on screen. He had that overly smooth, dangerously calm demeanor that just screams, I am going to lock you in a basement and throw away the key. But to find out he is in bed with Patty Williams, the undisputed reigning queen of unhinged obsession, honestly, it is at times major flex times by the writers, but it is also completely destroying my nervous system. Suddenly, every single interaction Diane has had with Lawrence takes on this suffocating, terrifying new context. He isn't just a bad doctor, he is a weapon. He is actively participating in a calculated plot to manipulate Diane, and honestly, it is making me sick to my stomach. This isn't just malpractice. This is a highly orchestrated symphony of psychological destruction. Listen, the gaslighting happening here is entirely off the charts. Lawrence is basically making Diane doubt her own sanity, and it is brutal to witness. Diane Jenkins Abbott, the woman who famously faked her own death, manipulated half the city, and clawed her way back from the grave, is suddenly being reduced to a trembling, paranoid mess. It's honestly low-key brilliant, but also absolutely devastating to watch. Look, you have to respect the poetic justice of Diane being out-manipulated by someone even more ruthless, but at the same time, I am fiercely protective of her right now. Wait, why are we like this? Why am I suddenly defending Diane? I used to hate her. I literally spent years praying for her downfall. But basically, seeing her trapped, realizing this horrific truth about Lawrence and Patty, and desperately trying to figure out how to escape her captivity, it hits different. The psychological fallout is immense. She is trapped in a literal and metaphorical prison, and suddenly her survival instincts are the only thing keeping her tethered to reality. She is fighting a war inside her own mind, and Lawrence is pulling all the strings. And then there is Patty freaking Williams. Honestly, the fact that she is back to her old tricks, spinning these elaborate lethal webs, is a masterclass in legacy villainy. Look, Patty is currently looking Jack Abbott dead in the eyes and lying through her teeth, claiming Diane is just away getting treatment at some exclusive clinic. A clinic! Basically, she is using the very real concept of mental health recovery as a smokescreen for a full-blown kidnapping. It is so dark, so twisted, and honestly so perfectly Patty. She has always had this deeply tragic, highly dangerous obsession with Jack, and suddenly she is eliminating his wife under the guise of medical care. It's at times total game changer times for her character arc. She isn't just acting out of blind rage anymore. She is executing a cold, calculated strategy that involves medical professionals and secret facilities. It is terrifying. Honestly, thinking about Patty reminds me of that time she shot Victor, or wait, was it Jack? No, she shot Victor, and then she had that whole thing with the stuffed cat. Mr. Kitty, oh my God, Mr. Kitty was a total icon, basically the true mastermind of Genoa City. I remember staying up until 4 a.m. back in the day just analyzing Mr. Kitty's screen time, convinced that the cat was a metaphor for her fractured psyche. Whoa, I've really gone off chasing butterflies into another dimension. Bringing the signal back, let's stick to the script. We are talking about the current crisis, not vintage stuffed animals. My brain is just short-circuiting because the sheer weight of Patty's history is crashing down on this current storyline. Listen, the only thing keeping me from completely snapping my laptop in half is Jack Abbott. Jack is not buying it. Thank the soap gods. Honestly, if Jack had just nodded and accepted Patty's clinic story, I would have rioted in the streets. But suddenly, we are seeing the old Jack, the sharp, relentless patriarch who refuses to be played by anyone, let alone his unstable ex. He is growing increasingly suspicious of Patty's bizarrely convenient narrative. Look, Jack knows Patty's history better than anyone. He knows the absolute depths of her delusions. Basically, his internal alarm bells are ringing at maximum volume, and he is determined to uncover the truth to save his wife. The tension is palpable. Every single time Jack and Patty share a scene, I am basically holding my breath, waiting for him to just rip the mask off her face. You can see the gears turning in his head, calculating every word she says, searching for the crack in her facade. And then we get to the emergency Abbott family meeting. This is what I live for. Look, when Jack rallies the troops, you know the vibe is redlining. He brings in Kyle and Tracy to analyze the clues and formulate a rescue plan, and honestly, it is everything I ever wanted. Tracy, the eternal voice of reason, the moral compass of the Abbott family, suddenly having to navigate the dark, twisted reality of Patty's return. And Kyle, oh my God, Kyle. Basically, this poor guy has already lost his mother once to a fake death, and now he is facing the very real possibility of losing her to an actual psychopath and her evil doctor boyfriend. The emotional stakes are astronomically high. Kyle's desperation is bleeding through the screen, and honestly, it is breaking my heart into a million tiny pieces. Listen, let's just pause and talk about Kyle for a second. The trauma this man carries is low-key obsession times of mine. He is basically holding it together by a single frayed thread. Suddenly, he is thrust back into this nightmare scenario where his mother is missing, and the only lead they have is a notoriously unstable woman and a phantom clinic. Look, the writers are really testing our sanity with this. Kyle's raw, unfiltered panic contrasting with Tracy's grounded, strategic calmness is a brilliant dynamic. Tracy is basically anchoring the entire family right now, connecting the dots that Jack is too emotionally compromised to see. It's at times major flex times for Tracy's character, proving she isn't just the sweet sister who writes novels. She is a tactical genius when her family is threatened. She is the glue holding the Abbotts together while they prepare for war. But here is where the plot absolutely redlines and breaks the scale. Jack realizes that to get the information he needs, he might have to temporarily play along with Patty's demands. He's going to play along with Patty Williams. Are you kidding me? Honestly, this is the most dangerous, reckless, and insanely thrilling move he could possibly make. Look, Jack is basically stepping into the lion's den, pretending to buy into Patty's delusions just to lower her defenses. It is a high-stakes game of cat and mouse, and suddenly Jack is the one walking on a razor's edge. If Patty senses even a hint of deception, she could easily order Lawrence to do something unthinkable to Diane. The risk is astronomical. I am sweating just typing this. Jack is basically weaponizing his own charm against the woman who has been obsessed with him for decades. And wait, we need to circle back to Dr. Lawrence Markham, because his role in this conspiracy is still deeply mysterious. Why is he doing this? Is it just for the thrill? Is he genuinely in love with Patty, or is he manipulating her too? Basically, I am spiraling through a chaotic feedback loop of theories. Look, Lawrence holds all the physical power over Diane right now. He is the one administering whatever drugs or psychological torture she is enduring. Honestly, the fact that we don't fully understand his ultimate endgame makes him 10 times more terrifying. Suddenly, he isn't just a pawn. He might be the true mastermind pulling Patty's strings. Or wait, no, Patty is definitely pulling his, right? She has to be. See? I am contradicting myself because I am so overwhelmed by the sheer complexity of this toxic dynamic. It is a puzzle wrapped in a nightmare. Listen, The impending climax of this storyline is going to shatter the internet. Diane is desperate to escape. We know she is a fighter. She is basically a cornered animal right now, and a cornered Diane Jenkins is the most dangerous force in Genoa City. Look, she is piecing together the horrifying reality of her situation, and suddenly the fear is transforming into pure, unadulterated rage. I can feel it. Honestly, when Diane finally makes her move, when she decides to break out of that literal hellhole Lawrence has her trapped in, it is going to be a times total game changer. The chaos that is about to unfold when Jack's rescue mission collides with Diane's escape attempt and Patty's inevitable meltdown, I literally cannot handle the anticipation. It is going to be a bloodbath of emotions and secrets. Basically, this entire storyline is a lethal crunch of psychological warfare, legacy trauma, and absolute narrative betrayal. I am dumping all this unedited psychic damage onto you guys because I need someone, anyone, to witness my existential collapse. Look, if Jack doesn't save Diane, or if Lawrence somehow gets away with this sick game, I am officially done. The vibe is raw, the engagement is peaking, and honestly, we are just strapping in for the wildest ride of the decade. Please, sound off below, tell me your theories, because I am losing my mind and I need the hive mind to help me process this absolute madness.
Thank you for watching my video. I will be updating regularly with the latest news, so please remember to subscribe to my channel to support me.